We are very excited today because we've got a special guest to start the show. It all has to do with a big story that we here have been following, and I know a lot of you have as well, about two black lawmakers in Tennessee, Representatives Justin Jones and Justin J. Pearson, who were expelled from the Tennessee House last week by the Republican supermajority after they took part in a protest, a peaceful protest for gun control. Now, the other representative who took part in this protest, Gloria Johnson, narrowly escaped being voted out. Yesterday, Representative Justin Jones was reinstated after a unanimous vote to reappoint him to the position. Here's what he said about it.
I want to welcome democracy back to the people's house. That on last Thursday, members of this body tried to crucify democracy, but today we stand as a witness of a resurrection of a movement of a multiracial democracy that no unjust decision will stand. And so I come here, most importantly, though, not as an individual, but I come here to say that the people of District 52, 78,000 people, have a voice in this chamber once again.
Wow. And today we are very excited to have Representative Justin J. Pearson here to talk to us all about what is going on. Representative Pearson, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here with you. The reality is we are suffering from the lack of democracy and anti-democratic behavior in the state of Tennessee. The expulsion of myself and Representative Jones and threatened expulsion of Representative Gloria Johnson as a part of an abuse of power and egregious overuse of authority by the Republican Party in the state of Tennessee against those who would advocate to end gun violence, against those who would like to see those who've been persecuted and those who've been pushed to the periphery to be the center of our conversations. And so because we won't accept the silence of people who are in positions of power to do something, the response by the majority has been to try and expel us, and actually to expel us. But the reality is our democracy is working, and that a people power movement to end gun violence and elevate the issues continues to win. And right after Holy Week, on the day of resurrection, that's good news for we who care about justice.
Wow, beautifully stated.
Yes, thank you, Representative Pearson, for breaking that down for us. As we said, we've been following the story, and we're just trying to make it make sense, and at points make it. Basically, we're asking to make sense out of nonsense, but please let us know, because we just heard from your colleague, Representative Justin Jones, about being reinstated. So do you too anticipate that you'll be reinstated after the vote tomorrow?
I am hopeful that the majority of the Shelby County Commission will reappoint me to ensure that District 86 has representation here in the General Assembly. But I have to tell you all, a part of this entire situation is the unveiling, the uncovering, the truth about what is happening in the Tennessee legislature and in Republican-controlled legislatures across the countries, where we're no longer having a democracy of debate and of conversation, but a mobocracy, where there are people who are in positions of power who wield that power against others. And right now, members of the Shelby County Commission have been threatened that we would lose hundreds of millions of dollars in state funding if I were reinstated.
I just don't understand how we're here. We appreciate you, and it's an honor. A lot of people are saying that this all comes down to race. The floor is yours. What's your take on this?
You cannot not see what you see, right? And we know the issue of race and gender undergirds this decision, but the reality is some of our colleagues on the other side, all they want to do is say, well, we're not racist, and so this has nothing to do with race. And the reality is we need to talk about how we got here. And it was because we used our First Amendment rights to stand up against the NRA and against gun assault weapons being in the hands of normal people. It was because we listened to the people like those now in Louisville, Kentucky, who are saying we need to have change, and those in Nashville after Covenant who said we need to have change, that led to our expulsion. And because we were going against that status quo, the people in positions of power here said we needed to go.
Yeah, you know what? So many people are sick and tired of the endless amount. I mean, just here, how many times have we reported on mass shootings, gun violence? I mean, I can't even tell you today, Representative Pearson. And so I have to ask you this, as someone that's leading the charge, and I'm so grateful to you as a mom of two. The Pew Research Center is out with some new data. Shooting deaths of kids is up 50% since 2019. It's now the leading cause of death for children. Talk to me about what solutions you believe are absolutely necessary to stop this horrific trend.
One, it is a tragedy that we are in a situation where we literally have 9-year-olds who are dying at schools like Covenant, and we have 9-year-olds who are protesting, holding signs saying, "Am I next?" It's the responsibility of legislators and people in positions of power to not just send out thoughts and prayers, but real solutions. And some of those solutions are, how do we prevent access to weapons of war to the hands of civilians? So banning assault weapons, as was done in the 90s, ensuring that we have red flag laws that say that folks who shouldn't have access to guns, that none of us think should have access to guns, don't have them. It's making sure we have gun storage safety laws. It's making sure that we ensure that people don't have guns in their cars, because a lot of weapons are being stolen from cars and used in crimes that are being committed. And it's also making sure we're putting hundreds of millions of dollars of resources, not into gun lobbying campaigns, but into communities to prevent gun violence in the first place. Those are some of the hard things that we can do, and doable things that most people in our country say are sensible and should happen. Because just protecting schools is not enough. Children don't just live in schools. They go into communities where gun violence is also far too often rampant, even in a district like mine in District 86. And the solutions that we have to offer have to be concrete and preventing guns from getting in the hands of people who don't need them, as well as helping and supporting communities that do need more resources.
I'm so grateful that we have you.
I just have to shout out really quick. You have an enormous future. Enormous future. You're in the Well speech will go down in history. I am honored that you chose to speak with us today. I'm so glad we connected, honestly. So proud to have you on.
Grateful for the opportunity, and we have to keep fighting. And I encourage everyone to go to votejustinj.com, sign up for our newsletter. We're going to solve this problem, even in a state like Tennessee, because it is a solvable problem. And we have people power and we have moral righteousness on our side.
Wow. Representative Justin J. Pearson, thank you so much for coming on our show today. We wish you the best of luck with tomorrow's vote, and we're all very excited to see you get your seat back. Thank you again. We'll be right back. Thank you. Bravo.